Hey guys, what's up? It's Max Holland here, and this is a movie review. This is my review on the 1977 sci-fi classic Star Wars: A New Hope. This is my favorite movie of all time. It's very special to me. In fact, I'm actually wearing this vintage Star Wars shirt. As you can see, Star Wars 1977. So anyway, the plot is centered on a protagonist, Luke Skywalker, a farm boy who longs to be a space pilot. And then Luke gets roped into a conflict where there's a war among the galaxy between a rebellion and an evil empire. So we got a set of different characters. There's the quirky robot duo of C-3PO and R2-D2, who escape from the Empire and they end up on Tatooine. That's where they meet Luke. And then we got the scoundrel Han Solo and his sidekick Chewbacca. Chewbacca is like a beast-like humanoid alien creature called a Wookiee who communicates through roars. I would mimic the Chewbacca roar, but I'd butcher it and I wouldn't really do it justice. And then there's the old sage Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's friends with Luke, and he teaches Luke the ways of a mysterious power called the Force. And then there's Princess Leia. She gets captured by the Empire, and the majority of the plot is centered on our heroes going out to rescue her. And they go on a Han Solo spaceship called the Millennium Falcon. So yeah, there's some space shooting stuff going on. So we have our villains in the Empire side. There's Darth Vader, who's important to the plot and has an actual connection with our main characters. And then there's Grand Moff Tarkin, who's shown to be more sadistic and has more sinister intentions. Grand Moff Tarkin, I think, is arguably considered this movie's main antagonist. And then there's the Death Star, which is this round space station with a laser cannon that's capable of blowing up an entire planet. So the gist of the plot is centered on our main character setting out to stop the Empire and destroy the Death Star and save the galaxy. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of the whole thing. So I think the original Star Wars movie is an excellent and very well done film. It's got great and solid storyline, very compelling characters, great acting, great directing. It's got really impressive special effects and production value for the time. And it's insanely creative. I don't think there's been a movie quite like Star Wars before or even since. I mean, granted, it did borrow from other sci-fi stuff, but it was also mostly its own thing. Also, it's not a comedy, but it does have some pretty funny comedic moments. So I first saw this movie when I was a little kid with my older brother, and I was immediately blown away by it. I hadn't seen anything like it before. And it's the movie that got me interested in film, and that's why it's my favorite movie of all time. So yeah, it's an important part of my childhood. So yeah, I may get into reviewing the other movies, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, as well as the prequels and later the Disney-produced stuff, but I wanted to focus primarily on the originals. The original movie that started it all. I think George Lucas did a great job writing and directing, and I think Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher, and even Alec Guinness also did great jobs with their roles. I can't forget the late and legendary James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader. I think he absolutely killed it. And then there's John Williams composing the music score. I think he did a fantastic job. Da 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 da. So iconic. So yeah, I think the original Star Wars movie is a spectacle, and I'd go as far as to calling it a cinematic masterpiece. Now, it is on Disney Plus. They may have it under Episode 4, A New Hope, but just know that it's the fourth movie chronologically, but it was the fourth movie. It was the first movie made. I just thought I'd clear that up to avoid confusion. I guess to name one downside is that I'm not really a fan of the changes they made in the special edition version that they came out with in 1997. Especially the CGI, it's just a little too distracting, you know. and that's the only version that's really available anywhere unless you happen to have a VCR. Although around I think 2005 or 2006 they did come out with a limited edition Star Wars trilogy DVDs that featured the original theatrical versions, and I don't have copies of those at the moment, but personally I prefer those versions versus the special editions. That's just my opinion. Anyway, Star Wars, it's a great movie, and I think it's still worth checking out. Did I mention it's a spectacle, and I would go as far as to calling it a cinematic masterpiece? And yeah, that's all I really have to say about the original Star Wars movie. I give Star Wars A New Hope a solid 10 out of 10. So have you seen the original Star Wars? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was okay? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and want to see more content, hit the subscribe button and get maxed out. So this is Max Holland signing out and saying, may the Force be with you. Goodbye!